Reade Hall is a residence hall on the campus of Valdosta State University. The building has a storied past that stretches all the way back to the early 20th century. Once obscure and unclear, resources from the Valdosta State University archives have shed new light on the history of the building and have allowed for the creation of a timeline detailing the dorm's history, as well as the thoughts and feelings of students who have occupied it over the decades. The building was first conceived of in 1928 when the administration and board of trustees decided that Georgia State Women's College was in need of a new dormitory. $100,000, equivalent to $1.45 million today, was allocated to construct the new dormitory, and in 1936 the residence first opened. From 1936 to 1952, the building, dubbed Senior Hall, housed the senior girls of Georgia State Women's College. Despite the strict behavior codes and expectations of the time, Senior Hall was still a vibrant place. Jean Willis, a student in 1945, described in the campus canopy that life in Senior Hall was pretty hectic. Saturdays were full of chores, such as sweeping the rooms and doing laundry, but the girls also spent plenty of time socializing and preparing for the next week. In 1952, the administration of what was then coeducational Valdosta State College decided that Senior Hall would house male students of the college, and a few years later, in 1957, it was announced that Senior Hall would henceforth be known as Reade Hall, in honor of Dr. Frank R. Reade, the third president of the college. Then in all-male dorm, life in Reade Hall was still described as hectic. Exemplifying this are stories out of the campus canopy, which reported in a June 1959 issue, in a section labeled VIPs of the Week, that two students in Reade Hall were keeping two pet snakes within their dorm room, which they had named Oswald and Louise. In the latter half of the 20th century, women returned to Reade Hall when, in 1962, plans were made for a new men's dorm, which would later result in the construction of Langdale Hall. By the dawn of the 21st century, Reade Hall was housing honor students. Its latest renovation in 2009 cost $2.7 million and resulted in much of the 1930s aesthetic being returned to the building, in the form of hardwood floors on the second story, a complete renovation of the central staircase, and the addition of extra laundry rooms and bathrooms. In the present day, Reade Hall is the primary honors student residence hall as well as the oldest dormitory still in use on Valdosta State University's campus. Even today, the building's atmosphere remains similar to that of the past, and life within can still be described as pretty hectic. Nonetheless, Reade Hall has become a great focal point for socialization and success while at Valdosta State University.